Ramsey, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We were thinking from the very start of this project that we wanted to have you on for this particular episode. Or I guess when I say we, I mean me.
Yes. I mean, we have been, but because Mike said my friend Ramsey is going to be perfect for this episode, and so I've been thinking, great, Mike's friend Ramsey is going to join us. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I know you just introed me, but I do have this prepared.
Perfect.
Yes. Well, and this is exactly demonstrative of why we wanted to have Ramsey on, because he brings it. He brings it every time. Yeah. Well, we did a little chatter before we started, but you two have actually met once. I don't know if you would recall or not, but your 30th birthday, which is also the last time I saw you.
Is
I'm
that
pretty
true?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know how that had actually happened, but you were, I think, was it at Halyards or it was at a bar? Yeah.
Yep.
And I lived on 11th and 3rd in Gowanus, and I think it must have been when we had just first started dating. And Mike was like, oh, I'm going to this birthday party down the street. So we went, and I know that we met, but I don't really remember anything about the evening except that, like, I remember seeing your face and saying, hi, happy birthday.
and depending on how
really
late
all.
it was, I might not remember anything.
I mean, yeah, that's totally fair. For
As
your
is your
30th
right,
birthday.
as a 30th birthday person.
Or
That's
any
right.
birthday, or really any time,
Any
whatever.
day.
Any day.
You're right.
That's your right as a human.
But yeah.
But it is nice to re-meet you in this strange digital format, and not in a dark bar. It's equally confusing and different, but I think we'll remember this one a little bit better.
I think so too. And we'll have several records of it as well.
Exactly.
In both audio and video.
That's
exactly. Right. If our memories fail at any point, we can always just go back and relive it.
Yeah.
Check it.
But
it is kind of a good thing that I'm not there in person, because I might definitely clash with your curtain. Just realized.
That's right.
It's just a floating head.
I mean, you are already
you
kind
are
of
a floating head in
That's true.
from our view, but
Yeah. But
it's
yeah.
a very nice suit.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe the inside says Ramsey S. wore this suit.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
Nice. I love that.
Really
what was
nice
what was
touch.
the occasion, or how did you get that?
This would have been about maybe 2 or 3 years now. I decided for a New Year's resolution, I'm going to start dressing better. And so at work, I pretty much wear a suit most days now. Just sort of like steadily, once every 6 months, there's this Indochino is this suit making company that is surprisingly good quality for not a lot of money. And
Yeah.
so I just kind of steadily built up my wardrobe. And I haven't put on a suit in a year now since the
Wow.
pandemic started.
Yeah.
Because I can get away with just wearing a button-up shirt from
Right.
home.
Right.
But yeah, that's why I have this
Nice.
Wes Anderson suit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So for the folks at home, you work at, and like how did your I don't want to give it away, but how did your coworkers receive it, or how did your compatriots? I don't know what
The New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
So it was funny. At first, people thought I was leaving my office because I was going to. He must be going on a job interview after work.
Yeah.
So over time, it was just like, oh, that's the suit guy. And it just, everybody got used to it. And now I don't think anyone remembers that I would just walk around with an untucked button-up shirt all day. It kind of just became me.
And
Nice.
what I don't think I know, because as everyone knows, we are just meeting. What is the job that you were wearing this suit to?
I'm a high school teacher.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
So how did I guess the students were impressed, or has it changed? Like, I mean, of course now we're all digital, but did it change any of their outfits? Like, did any of your
Ooh.
students start dressing nicer too?
I don't think anyone stepped it up. Once in a while, like, it happened at least once that that one student would dress as me for Halloween.
Oh.
Because all you have to do is put on the suit you have from a wedding. So that was definitely nice. But I do get a lot of like, oh, Mr. S is fancy, like those sorts of comments. And I always just spin it of like, well, I dress it because I like to respect you guys, that sort of thing.
That's
so I turn
nice.
it around on them.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was saying before we started the podcast as well, and the fact that we haven't seen you since your 30th birthday, and I won't say how many years out of respect, but it's been a number of years, and we've known each other for long enough that the Royal Tenenbaums was a relevant film. When we knew each other. Not that it's unrelevant now, but you know what I mean. Like it was culturally, impacting things. But we're doing this project where we're walking around New York City, and so the all three of us happen to be people that have moved here and now lived here for 10 plus years. We have our chip. And I think that now that we've all lived here long enough, I know that now that I've lived here long enough, it's interesting to start seeing the type of relationships like the one I have with you where, people come and go out of your life, and you can't always necessarily pinpoint why it is that those things happen,
Right.
And we went to your 30th birthday, and I had no anticipation that was the last time I was going to physically see you in, X amount of years, but it just happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, I guess I could go around the room and then the other room about, these types of things where you have one set, it's like super college. You have one set of people when you get here, and then it evolves into a totally different way.
Yeah. I have a thought that it just came to me right now, and I don't know, I'm going to say it, but I don't know, I'm not like staking it down because it just came. But there's something to this where it feels kind of similar to knowing that there's a really awesome museum in the city that you can kind of like visit anytime, and you might get an email that's like, this museum is having a really great exhibition and it's going to be on for this short amount of time, and you're like, yeah, I'll go to that. And then you like don't, but you think you will, and you're like, well, I'll catch it the next time. And then before you know it, you're like, shit, I haven't gone to my favorite museum for like 10 years. I can't believe it. I almost feel like it's like that with some of my long-term New York relationships, where it's like every time I see this person, I'm like super psyched. And anytime I get an invite, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. But then you just get like, I don't know if I love this analogy because I feel like part of the museum thing is that I take it for granted that it's here, and I don't feel that way about like the really cool people that I know, and I don't want to put that on it, but I kind of like it because I also think it's kind of fun. And there's something to that where it's like we have all this awesome stuff around us, and
Right.
The time just goes because there's so many cool things to do.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I was just talking about the Muppet exhibit at the Museum of the Moving Image that I still haven't seen.
Oh.
It's driving me crazy. I helped kickstart that thing on
Oh my
Kickstarter.
gosh.
I'm thinking a lot about, for me, I think the biggest change in our specific friendship is I moved. And we were a lot less close, even though we're still in Brooklyn, and
Right.
it's not that far, all
No.
things considered.
No.
I have a car.
Yeah.
You're on my way to work. Or actually, have you moved? I don't know.
Yeah, I probably. Wait, but 5 years ago. So
Man.
I used to. If you're the location you're referring to is the place I used to live with Mark and everybody, like at Bushwick and Metropolitan. No, I don't live there anymore. But now I live off the Wilson L or the Chauncey J. So like, farther down. But yeah, it's not that far away.
Yeah.
So the point still stands. It's wild.
And it's weird that like it's not that far. Like
No.
on a nice day, it's walkable, as you guys could.
Yeah, as demonstrated. Yeah. It's weird. It's how things pass through, and there are also those situations where things go sour, and then you don't interact with people, and that's a different type
the
of
museum's mad at you.
thing.
Well, yeah, which has happened,
Yeah.
Won't name names, but Whitney.
Oh. But I do think like part of it is, I like that analogy a lot, because it's like, at any point I do know like that museum's out there. I'm going to see that museum again. It's just I keep forgetting to go, or I haven't reached out to get my tickets.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and to that point, I mean, the last time we had talked to you, or I talked to you prior to telling you about this podcast, was actually a year and 2 weeks ago, maybe, because we were talking about doing our project release party, or like our kickoff party, and you were like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come." And then it was
ready.
like, okay, well, there's a certain pandemic coming through. It'll only last a couple of weeks, but I don't think we should do a project release party right now. And that was that. So, it's wild. I mean, I guess part of it too is like, I started the job at the video game company, which more or less coincided with your 30th birthday. So there's just kind of this whole chunk of time where a life change as big as that just deviates you into a different place,
Yeah, so I kind of forgot about the party. I remembered getting drinks with you at the Italian restaurant next to that apartment.
Right, yeah.
And that was right as you had started there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, damn. Well, yeah, maybe this is getting too insidery at this point.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
No. I mean,
No.
We're catching up, listeners.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, folks. Yeah.
I mean, I think anyone listening has had a catch-up session with a friend at some point, can definitely relate to this conversation. So keep it going.
I'd like to believe that, and I'd like to. And as I said, I think that it is a maybe not uniquely New York, but uniquely metropolitan area type situation where it's like, if we lived in a small town, we would almost we would have some sort of acrimonious fight, or we would be seeing each other. There's just no like, even if it were just incidentally at the supermarket or something. But
there's nothing else to do.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly. But here that's not the case, and I think that's one of the nice parts about living in a major area is that the museum thing is really apt, because it just feels like there is a bounty of accessible things to do and people to interact with, and it's just always feels nice to have it all on hand,
Yeah.
And I like the part of it, like, it's an institution that Guggenheim is not going to move. It's going to be there. So like, I can always return to it.
Right.
Right. Well, that's why I like that word too, because it's not just like, oh, there's a pop-up shop that's opening for a couple weeks or something, your transient friends. But yeah, it's like the relationships that you know, that, because what I know of the two of you, you've spent enough time with each other prior to sort of the last however many years it's been, that that you've created this institutional bond that you can always go back to.
Yeah. I mean, Facebook agrees. I wasn't going to bring this up necessarily, but just this week, I received one of the Facebook memories that comes up in your inbox, or if you check Facebook, it lets you know. And it was from 15 years ago. And it was so old that they don't let you share it. So I sent it to Ramsey. And there was a period of time where, I don't know how often, I guess it would go in bunches. Sometimes it'd be like every day, and then other times it'd be like weeks, where we do these like Bill Brasky-esque facts about each other and post them on the Facebook wall. So I'm just going to read this one, because I think it was one of your better ones, to be perfectly honest. When producers came to the Disney Channel to pitch a new television sitcom for tweens, it was initially entitled, That's Moderately Raven. After consulting with Michael Varley, however, it was soon realized that the program needed at least 50% more Raven. Though this required a complete rewrite, without the advice of one Mr. Varley, That's So Raven would not exist, and the state of America would have taken a turn for the worst. The last sentence is actually the best part of it, because as we know, That's So Raven could not save us. But
No, yeah, now we have that knowledge.
Yeah.
15 years ago, it was a more innocent time.
That's right.
It's amazing. Mike read this to me yesterday during the day, and it's amazing that that's what Facebook used to be.
It was
like,
nice.
so sweet.
Yeah,
So nice.
absolutely.
Yep.
It's a little bulletin board.
Yeah, you could just do a little joke and not have to face the politics of your relatives.
That's right.